Every day, most of us carry a host of gadgets and general items that help us go about our day or improve our lives in some way, whether that's the latest iPhone or a personal trinket with sentimental value. So today, I'm going to walk you through my EDC bag and all the items I carry with me, from my computer of choice, the accessories that go along with it, and a 3D printed item that always lives in my pocket. But before I start, I want to be upfront. A few of these items have been sent to me as gifts over the past year. Being a creator on YouTube has its perks. Brands often reach out once you hit a certain threshold and offer to send you products in return for either a bit of promotion or a dedicated video. I'm incredibly grateful for this privileged position, but I would never accept or promote a product that I personally wouldn't buy myself, was poor quality, or be of no benefit to my audience. That being said, this video does have a sponsor, and that is Kushu. Kushu reached out to me and asked if I could help promote this new 3-in-1 MagSafe charger. But this isn't any old MagSafe charger. It has a built-in stand so you can prop your phone up to watch a movie or use it in standby mode. And check this out. This is the pretty neat party trick. It rotates to reveal an Apple Watch charger that works with both your Apple Watch and AirPods. You can pick it up in two sizes, 5,000 or 10,000 milliamp hours. You're going to be able to juice up your iPhone, AirPods and Apple Watch to a decent amount of charge, all in this tiny package. And if that wasn't enough, you can also charge an additional device up to 20 watts by plugging in a USB-C cable into the side. It's currently available in black and desert titanium. If you want to find out more about this awesome 3-in-1 MagSafe charger, click the link in the description, and if you do happen to pick one up, use code chriswilmshurst at the checkout for a further 10% off any listed price, including when there's a sale on. So to kick off my EDC, let's get the biggest and most obvious item out of the way first, the Harber London commuter backpack. This is a premium luxury bag that the brand kindly sent me to try out. I've been using it for a few months now and I love its simple and understated design. The materials are durable and it's functional without being over the top or in your face. The bag has all the comforts you'd expect from a luxury brand. It's water resistant, has both a padded laptop and tablet compartment, magnetic latches, an internal zipped pouch, and more. It easily fits everything I'm showcasing today and is very comfortable to wear. I chose the black version because black goes with everything. But if I were to choose again, I might go for the green colour. It's a great bag for everyday items, and I even use it as an overnight bag if I'm away for a day or two, as you can fit a couple of outfits along with your laptop inside. Inside the bag, we have my personal computer of choice, which is the 16-inch M1 Max MacBook Pro. Now I understand we are now up to M4 Pro and Max processors, and by modern fast-paced changing standards in the tech world, this is now considered old. But ever since the day I purchased this MacBook Pro, I've had no major faults in terms of its performance, and it manages everything I throw at it. It's fast, responsive, and after hours of daily use for several years, I think the fans have turned on probably 10 to 15 times. Being a MacBook Pro, it has everything I need in terms of connectivity to get my work done. The SD card slot, Thunderbolt ports, and headphone jack make photo and video editing on the go a dream. Will I be upgrading anytime soon? Probably not, unless of course this suddenly has a catastrophic problem or somehow I can find a machine that performs 10 times better for far less money. So what earbuds do I use on the go? Well, if I want to listen to music or watch content, I have the AirPod Pros. But as I mentioned earlier, I use the headphone jack on my MacBook Pro. I do this as there is always a slight bit of latency when editing with Bluetooth buds, so having wired earbuds gives me the confidence that everything is lined up correctly when it comes to audio. The buds I use are the KZ Pro 2s, which for the money are really good. I stick them in my ears, I get great isolation from the outside world, and an outstanding audio experience. On some occasions, I will take my iPad Pro along with a Magic Keyboard and Apple Pencil. I do this if I'm not shooting any sort of bracketed photos at work, as I much prefer to use the iPad for editing photos. It's a really great system for this, but it does come with compromise, which you can find out by watching my review. It also makes an excellent second screen for my MacBook Pro if I'm sat at a table for a long time. I didn't mention earlier that my MacBook Pro only has 1 TB of internal storage. This may seem like a lot to some people, but I burn through hard drive space like there's no tomorrow. An average week at work can involve ingesting around 200 to 600 GB of data from my SD cards and audio recorders. I actually have 2 backup solutions, but I'll tell you mainly about my tried and tested OWC Electron SSD. Now this might not look like an OWC drive, and that is because the original board that the SSD was attached to fried, so I'm using this dirt cheap NVMe enclosure which is double the size but maintains all the speed and features. This SSD stores my Lightroom catalog, which I use for my day-to-day job. When I get home, I offload all my day job data to a variety of 3.5-inch mechanical hard drives that work provide. It's a terrible system and painfully slow, but it's affordable for them. And if it's a personal project I'm working on or doing some freelance work to help a friend out, I'll get home and offload them to my Zima Cube NAS. This hard drive, along with a few USB-C cables, an Anker USB-C hub for my iPad, AirPods Pro, my Logitech MX Master 3S mouse, and some adapters live in this nice leather pouch from Harber London. There's not much really to say other than it's made of leather, the quality is great, and it has some perfect little pouches for storing all your tech bits and pieces in one place without having to root around at the bottom of your backpack. You might have noticed that there is a lot of tech, but no chargers as of yet. Well, that's because I recently ditched my 95-watt MacBook Pro charger for this awesome Anker power bank. What makes this unique to me are 4 key features. Firstly, the lanyard is actually a very durable USB-C cable, and you wouldn't have even noticed on first glance unless you looked closely. Next is a second built-in retractable USB-C cable. So that's 2 built-in USB-C cables, which means I do not need to pack extras. Then there's the built-in screen, which gives me information on how much battery is left, the speed in which the bank is charging, how hot it gets, then finally, it's the fact that it's 165 watts, so I can charge both my MacBook Pro and phone without any speed limitations. Then, if I'm in an absolute pickle and I need even more charge than this can offer, I've got the 65-watt U-Green plug which sits in the bottom of my bag as a backup. Now I'm almost done with this bag, so let's talk about a few everyday essential items that I also like to carry with me. The first is my trusty Yeti water bottle. It's big, keeps my drinks cool, and unlike my old Hydro Flask, it's got a decent mouthpiece, so I'm no longer using a hard to clean straw, which saves me time cleaning and means I can gulp down even more water a lot faster. Then I have an item I believe every person who carries luggage of high value should own, and that is an AirTag. I do not think I could count the amount of times these little items have saved me from losing my mind when I struggle to locate my bags or keys. They really are worth the cost, and I only need to replace the battery once every 12 to 14 months. Time to roll on to what's in my pockets, beginning with the iPhone 15 Pro Max. I know a lot of creators like to have the latest and greatest phones as it's good for their brand or channel, but I'm a believer that if it ain't broke, there's no reason to switch it. The only reason I'm using the 15 Pro Max is because my 13 Pro broke and the cost to replace the glass was extortionate, and it made more financial sense to replace the whole phone than the glass. But I do love that it is USB-C and that I can shoot Apple log video clips. This alone makes it a very good upgrade, and I found that this camera takes a really nice image out of the standard camera app. And as it's raw, I can edit them in Lightroom and pull out a lot of detail from places you wouldn't expect. One issue with shooting video on this iPhone is that you require an external SSD or fast SD card to shoot 4K 60fps in log. So I was lucky enough to be sent this SSD from Afro, but the thing is I could use any of my small SSDs with an iPhone. But the one thing this has over those, and it's a huge selling point, is the fact that it's MagSafe compatible. It can attach to your phone or MagSafe case using the built-in magnets and connect it to your phone easily using one of the 2 supplied USB-C cables. This gives me a 2TB portable SSD that is stuck to my iPhone, which will allow me to not only record log footage at the highest quality and frame rate, but also allow me to back up anything using the Files app on the fly. Then, if I want to use those clips rather than go through the faff of airdropping them, I just plug this drive directly into my MacBook Pro, iPad, or PC and use it like a normal external drive. Moving on, you might have noticed I'm running a very peculiar looking case, and you'd be right, it is a bit peculiar. This is the Art case, which they're calling a minimalistic phone case. It doesn't give you 100% protection, and I'm honestly surprised I've been using it so long, as I have to confess, before this, I rarely used a case. One of my monthly outgoings is Apple Care, so I blissfully go about my day knowing that if I do crack my screen, Apple will fix it for a very small fee, which to me is usually a lot less than a decent case these days. Not to mention, every case I've had in the past has just fallen apart. Then there's something that is featured in the past few videos I've made which you might not have noticed unless you looked really hard, and that is this ring I'm wearing. I've been using the Ultrahuman Smart Ring for 8 months now, and it's something that has become so ingrained into my day-to-day routine that I don't even notice it. I received this over 9 months ago from the brand with no expectations to make a video on it, so I didn't make one. All they asked for was to give regular feedback over email, and if I had any queries or needed something troubleshooting, they were quick to respond. That said, it hasn't been perfect. There was a brief period between a couple of firmware versions where the battery life was atrocious. Ultrahuman were quick to resolve this and even sent me out a spare ring as a backup, which I've recently switched to, as I'm not sure why, but the first ring has completely died and refuses to hold the charge. Luckily, this one works perfectly. What I really like is this ring is something I can wear for up to a week without having to charge the battery, and the built-in sleep tracking has drastically improved how I go about my day-to-day. I make sure I'm hitting my sleep targets, and I've noticed that I'm getting up a lot earlier now. Maybe that's just me getting old. There's other smart features like caffeine tracking, exercise tools, but at the end of the day, I just mainly use it for sleep tracking, as I hate wearing my Apple Watch in bed. And that leads me on to my Apple Watch. I'm still rocking the Apple Watch Ultra 2. It's still an amazing watch. It's great for workouts. The battery lasts a long time, and I'd recommend it if you're looking for an Apple Watch. Circling back to the iPhone, Apple Pay is something that I've loved using since it was first released in the UK. It makes all my purchasing habits simple and quick. But not everywhere accepts contactless, and sometimes you need to pull out a bit of cash or a card. So I grabbed this Harber London leather bifold zip wallet to replace my old and tired wallet. I chose this one for a few reasons. It had a decent amount of slots for cards, there's an actual coin pouch, which seems to be an afterthought for most wallets these days, and it has an RFID protection layer, so hopefully no one can wave a card reader at the back of my pockets and drain my funds. And finally, you gotta have your keys with you at all times, so I have my car key, another AirTag with a Belkin case so I always know where they are, and this 3D printed key organizer, which was a free design online. I think I found it from MakerWorld, and it only took like 20 minutes to make with a couple of bolts, and it saved me a hell of a lot of money because the price of some of the premium brands on these is absolutely ridiculous, and I don't understand how they can charge so much. This has lasted for months and months, and I've not had a single issue with it. And it protects my pockets. So that's my EDC. I've been using it for several months, and I'm probably going to be using it for several months to come. What was your favourite item? And is there anything in this video you believe I've made a mistake with? Or, alternatively, could switch out for something better? Let me know in the comments, and as always, links to every item can be found in the description. Thanks for watching, and thanks to Kushu for sponsoring this video.